Project for this weekend is fixing this door latch. I installed an RV style latch, and the latch part works pretty well. I had to build a striker. It needs to be painted, but it works. It's bolted in. But the door is thicker than a standard RV door, and I tried building a door handle. I modified it with a longer handle and a longer prong to reach through the longer door. So this was surface mounted where this box now is. But I really struggled with the deadbolt. So I broke like 3 here where the deadbolt is supposed to attach. I tried every method of extending with no success, and so instead I've opted to build a recessed pocket in the door for everything to bolt in, and there'll be a flange. I've got to trim this to the right depth because this is at a slight angle, as you can see. So the door handle will now fit in this pocket, and you can reach in and operate it, and the deadbolt latch should operate just fine. I've got a vinyl covered door panel that goes over this whole thing, but I want to get this all fixed, and there'll be a flange here that holds it and seals that gap around the door panel, which I'll have to cut a hole in. And then I'm just going to pack some insulation. I think just some rock wool I've got laying around in both of these pockets, the lower one and the upper one, before I put it back on. This handle, of course, I'll have to come off and go back on. That should let me have a functioning lock from the inside, and hopefully the deadbolt will keep the door closed going down the road, and I won't have to resort to ratchet strapping it closed. So that's the progress so far. Just tack welded together a little thin box and get it finish welded once I get the height cut and the flange put on. So this is the mostly finished product. I impatiently reinstalled it with the paint still soft, and of course damaged it in a few spots, but you know, it's not terrible, and I don't think I made it through the primer anywhere. So now we can see the factory style deadbolt lever works down here, and it's, you know, one finger lets you do it, and then the latch lever works, so it does the trick. I need to find a couple more of the button holders. I have the screws and the buttons, but I'm missing the little metal piece that lets you snap it on. I may have to just buy some new ones, and I need to get a few more bolts. There's a couple of missing ones. I'm not sure yet if I'm gonna reattach this or what. You know, one little step at a time. I've got the piece, the bellows piece that goes on there too, and I may reattach it. It did kind of look nice, but I'm really happy that I can latch the door both inside and out, but more importantly that I can lock the deadbolt with the key, or don't know if you'll be able to see this, lock the deadbolt from inside. So not too shabby. It does the trick. You know, it might have been better to buy a black inside handle and a chrome outside handle, but I think it works. And yeah, I've only had it about 3.5 years, and now I finally have that done. I put a bunch of rock wool insulation in the door. I've got the caps for these somewhere in one of the many piles of parts. And yeah, So I have a nice and easy locking, latching RV system, and it is easily swapped with any other RV lock. It's the standard setup. So if I go to an electric lock or something down the road, I can do that if I want. The other project for this weekend is repairing this driver's side mirror. Last year on a trip, I was a little perturbed in that I was in my lane and still damaged my mirror because, you know, it sticks out. I was on a little narrow 2-lane road going to a campground, and an F-350 with a big trailer coming the other way with giant towing mirrors was also in his lane. Neither of us did anything wrong, but our mirrors just were at the right height and whacked each other. Thankfully, this pivot bolt let mine swivel in, and it's all, you know, aluminum. So other than a chip in the paint, it didn't damage the mirror housing. His shattered into a million pieces, but the glass is toast. So I am going to cut it off, and I was going to go and have a new piece of glass put in, but I really don't need it as a mirror. I have a 4-camera system, and so I really never use the mirrors. I just need one to be legal. So I picked up some of this nice thin acrylic mirror material. It's all scratched, but that's actually just the plastic film. And I am going to replace this with that myself. So I'm just going to mark it out, trim it with the jigsaw, sand it to be nice and smooth onto my line, and glue it where the glass one is now.